and welcome back. I have reviewed your homework and also graded your homework. But before we start on the homework, let's talk about it a little bit. Modules. So it's actually a very advanced topic to us. And the reason we use those two modules because I think it's a more convenient or close to our everyday life. So it will help us understand coding. So I just wanted to get you all familiarized with Python coding in the very beginning. I usually pick up the homework from the students who submitted the earliest, and also it's a perfect submission. So I will pick up that student to present. So I have two students I wanted to ask them to present the homework. But before that, let's talk about the requirements for the homework. So let me go to my homework screen. You see this instruction. We talk about, we use a random module to generate three values. So these three values are between 0 and 255. So I need those three values. And then I ask you to find the factorial value of the red color. Okay. So you already generated a value for red. So you have the value for red color. Now you just use the math module to find the factorial value for it. And also you can use the math to find the floor division of the green value to 5. And then the square root value of the sum of RGB. So that is the requirement. I think 90% of you are done very well. So I will ask Alexia, can you present your homework?
Do I have to?
Yes, because you are doing very good there. So you just share your screen and talk about what you did. That's the tradition in my
Okay,
class.
I'll pull it up.
And I do not see Hunt today, right? I have not seen Hunt.
I'm contacting the parents.
We miss more students.
We missed 2 students, yeah. I'm just calling them. 3 actually.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Alexia.
Okay.
Yeah, can you walk through your code?
First you have to import random. Then I have to generate each number for like R, G, and B. So I did R equals random dot random, and the numbers were 0 through 255. So I put that there, and I got 200 for red. And I did that with all the numbers, and G was 215 and B was 121. And then I import math to do all that stuff. I did the floor division here, and then I got the sum of R, G, and B,
Mhm.
which is 536, and I got the square root for it. But I didn't understand the part about red.
Yeah, the red, I think because you have not learned it. Factorial value. So when we talk about a factorial value, let's say number 6. So what is the factorial for number 6? It means it's 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. So that means you time all the numbers from 1 to that number. So that is in a factorial value. So if you use math, then you can get that. So you were the second student to submit the homework. And I see you have a question here, so that's why I asked you. And Hunter actually is the earliest person who did the homework, and he's not here. So when he come to the classroom, then I will ask him to present. But you did a good work, Alexia. So if you do not know what is the factory, that's okay because you have not learned it. Um, but um, but the rest of them are just perfect. Very good work.
Thank you.
I
All
have
right.
a question.
Yes.
Let me pull it up so I can show you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I try to put in that uh the uh the random code, it tells me this. So what I do, r equals random. Oh, never mind. It's doing it now, but earlier it wasn't working for me.
Good. So yeah, if you run into any issue, just let me know. I can help you. Um, random actually is a very important module. I said that we can use it to generate random numbers, and actually, it's not just for number. There are a lot of things you can use it for. Um, and when you try to get a number between a range. Okay, let's say 0 and 255. Then you just use render int and put the boundary in, right? So you will get a number of it. And we did talk about other methods of it. Um, and I know that you do not know what is a method and what is a module at this moment, but just use it and ignore it at this moment. And then we will move into basic of Python. We will walk through to that level. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. Um, and then let's do some review. Okay. So the first question we have here. So a string equal to this. Okay. So when we do Python, or let's say we do any kind of a programming language, if we use object-oriented programming language, so the left-hand side of this assignment symbol, this is a variable. And we know what is a variable, right? The variable stores this value. And now I ask you to choose the correct function to pick a single character from a given string randomly. Okay. So which one is the correct answer? Um, Think about this one. Anyone wants to volunteer?
I will.
Okay,
Is the answer B?
you're right. And the answer is B. So let's just try it, okay? Let's just try it. So let me run the Python. First, let me import random. So now random is in my memory. So let me just copy this, okay? And I think I needed to make some change to this one. The reason is that uh, the reason is that this code actually is it is a Chinese character, so Python does not recognize it. So let me just okay. So you see, now I have this right. The string str equal to this string. So let me see what does this give to me. Choice. So let's say x equal to random choice. So let's ask what is x. You get a e, right? So then can I use a random sample? Let's just try that, okay? Let's try this one, see if it works. X equal to random sample. Okay, let me hit enter. It does not, right? The complaints. Why? Because if you use a sample, you need to tell them how many you want to get. So I needed to put a 1 here. Then I can get x, right? So now I ask what is x. I get an I. So can I use this one, random 1? Okay, let's just try this, see if it works or not. It does not work. Why? Because this is trying to fool us. Random does not have a method called get. Okay, so that's why it does not work. It does not work. And the best answer is this one. If you do that one, you have to use a size here. Use how many characters you wanted to get. You want to put it there. Okay, so that's one quiz question. So now let's go to the next one. Okay, so let's read this quiz question. Choose the correct function from the following list to get a random integer between 99 and 200, which is divisible by 3. Okay. So think about this. We have 3 choices. So which one is the right answer? Anyone wants to volunteer?
I'll do it again.
Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
C.
C. So, okay, let's try it. If we say it's C, let's try. If C works, okay. Let's do this. Let me use X equal to C. Only takes in one parameter, and that's optional, right? So you now provide three values. So you are violating the rule for this function. Okay. So that's why. So can someone else take a guess which one should we use?
Is it A?
A is the right answer because range, that means you have the numbers, you have the start, okay, you have the stop, and then you have the step. Okay, when the int will not work. Why? Because when the int will only need two boundary, the beginning and the end. It will have all the numbers between those two numbers. So you will not, it will not accept this one. So that's the right answer. Very good work. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Then we talk about a random seed during our class. And then now let's just take a look at this quiz question. Random seed method is used to initialize the pseudo random number generator. The random modules use the seed value as a base to generate a random number. If seed value is not present, what is used? Does anyone wants to try?
Is it C?
C is not the correct answer. Can you take another guess?
B.
You need to guess again. B is not.
A?
All right, so A is also not. So the right answer is D. So unless you tell this the system what number you want to use as a seed, other than that, it will read your system clock. It will use the clock's value, okay? They will use the clock's value as the base, as the seed to generate the number. So that's why you see I can easily get a random value, right? So you don't have to provide a value because if you do not provide it, it will just go to read your clock and use that value. Okay. Now let's go to the basic of Python. So from now on, we really get into programming. We start from the ground. Okay. Before this point, it's just something to help you guys get into Python. But now let's just do Python basics. So the first topic we will talk about is Boolean. Can I get a student to just read this paragraph? Anyone wants to volunteer?
Boolean data type has only two values, true and false. Boolean expression is an expression that can be evaluated to true or false.
Very good. So Boolean, why do we need a Boolean? In programming, you always need to make a decision. And if it is true, you do something. If it is false, you do not do it. So when you write program, if you wanted to test a condition, only if it is true, then that code will be executed. And we will spend a lot of time to talk about a decision. But before we can do decision, we need to understand this data type. It's the simplest data type in all programming language. It only has two values, true or false. It's just like a computer. Actually, computer only understands the switch is on or off. Okay, so if it's on, that's value 1. If it's off, that's 0. So that is called bit data, right? Right, bit data is just have two values, 1 or 0. So Boolean just have two values, either true or false. And it is very important for us, so we need to remember it. So now let's just spend 5 minutes to understand the operator for the Boolean expression. So let me give you this URL. Miss He, I think the chat is disabled. Can you enable it? Hello? Hello? Sorry about that. Let me make a call to Miss He. I think she may be on the phone with the student's parent. But let me just make sure that I can get a hold of her and enable chat, so I can give you. Okay. Yeah.
I found the link. All you have to do is just type in everything there.
Or you can use the Google Classroom chat.
You're right. So let's just try that. Let's just use Google Chat. So and also you can just Google it. Okay. So it's easier to Google it as well. So let me just put it there. Proceed. All right. So what I need you to do, actually spend some time and reading what
Oh, it works for me.
it works for you. Let me just go to Google then.
Yeah, it works for me too.
Okay. So I don't know why it doesn't work for me. So let me just try this one. Okay, so I want you to read this pattern. This this part, okay? this one. This is for us to do the Boolean expression. So just spend like 2-3 minutes to finish reading it. And then we will come back to work on something. Okay. This is very important because we use a lot in Python, and now we start from the ground. So we need to understand the basics of Python. So the first one is the Boolean, and Boolean is the simplest one. All right, so let's just spend some time on this. So you see, we're using equal sign in Python, and if we just use one, you see here, we just use one equal sign here. That is an assignment. You assign a value from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. So the variable will store that value. But if you use two equal signs together in Python, it means you are comparing the left-hand side to the right-hand side to see if they are equal or not. If they are equal, it returns a true value. If they are not, it returns the false value. So that's why we see this is an operator, and it is used in the Boolean expression. And then you see the rest of them are easier to understand. This is not equal. This larger than. This less than. This larger than or equal. This less than or equal. Okay, you just understand that. And then let's come back to our slide to understand how Boolean works. So this is a very simple truth about Boolean expression. Okay, so you look into this table and tell me the result. Tell me the result. If x equal to true and y equal to false, what is the result? Okay, the first one, tell me it is true or false, the result. And this is the explanation. So just think about it that way, and then you can get the result. Okay, so this is just help you to understand it. So now I have x equal to true, y equal to false. So what is the result for this operation? Okay, I think I still need you to read this one. Okay, logical. Yeah, spend the time to read on this one. What does and mean? What does or mean? What does not mean? And so when we do Boolean, we are doing a logical comparison, and we combine them. So what is the final result of it? So you need to think about that. Now let's come back to the
So
slide.
the chat is working right now, yeah.
Okay, so now let's come back to see about this one. So the result is true or false. pattern?
It is true.
All right, it is true. Because if you use or, that means either one is true, it will be true. Okay, if you use or. Then it's idiot here. Right. So Miss Key, can you just contact us if idiot is there? Because her camera is not his camera is not the camera is not put on.
Yeah,
So
I will try. Okay.
yeah. So I don't know. So how about your Catherine? So what is this value?
I think it's false.
It is false. The reason is that that's a correct answer. The reason is that if you use and either one is false, it will be false. Okay. Must must all the variables be true, then it will be true. Anyone in it, if it's false and you use and, it will be false. Okay. So then not X. Can anyone tell me, okay, pattern?
I think it's true.
Not X is true. Sorry about that, idiot. I do not know that your microphone is not working, and you. So next time if I call you, you just type in your answer, okay? Do not worry about that. Right? So not X is not true, okay? Because X is true, and you negate it. So you negative it. So that means this result now is a false. Only if it's false, then you use not, you negate, so you make it true. All right, so now let's go to this one. I think we already read about that. So let's just do some more about the Boolean, okay? There's a function in the Python called a bool, okay? So I will talk about two built-in functions today. So let's do the first one, bool. So the bool will evaluate whatever you provide to it, and then give you a true or false value. Okay, so let's just try this. So let me say x equal to true. Okay, now if I say x equal to not x, so what is x? It is a false, right? Obviously, so you can try this. And now we use a bool value. So let's just try this. X equal to bool. Okay. So now what is x? It is false. But if I put a x equal to put a hello here. So now let me ask what is x? X equal to true. Let me do more. X equal to bool. I do not like it. I'm being negative here. See what it is. I put x value, still true. Okay. And now let me see x equal to bool 0. See what I got. X equal to true or equal to false. So if I say x equal to bool 1, let's see what I got. X equal to true. So the bool function actually evaluate whatever you provide, true and the true or false value, but okay, there's some rules in it. But first, you guys go ahead and try some of these. Just try some of those, okay? Try random things. You can even try like this. X equal to bool random dot random. Okay, and you see what is X. Right, so I want you guys to try spend like a 1 minute on it to just try any of those or any random things you feel fun. And try it, and then we go to the next slide to talk about the rule for this function.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So when I do x equals to true and y equal to false, and then I tried and I just go to the next line, it just tells me an error with t.
Can you show me your screen?
Yeah. So it just tells me this.
Okay, because you put it two assignment in one line, Python does not like it.
Oh.
Yeah, you need to separate x equal to true, then start another line and then type in. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let's just do a very simple thing now. So next slide. Okay. So can I get a student to help me read it? If I do not get a volunteer, then I will call a student.
Almost any value is evaluated to true if it has some sort of content, but value none is evaluated to false. False, any string is true except empty strings. Any number is true except 0. Any list, tuple, set, and dictionary are true except empty ones.
Okay, good. Thank you for reading. You see, we have not learned this yet, and we will learn it because they are all data structure. We just learned from the basic, and that's Boolean. But we are going to learn this in the following weeks. Okay, but you try this. If you use a bool, you can put any string in it, and it will be true. Only if you put in an empty string. So what is an empty string? So let's do this. X equal to 4, and put in an empty string here. Oh, sorry, I missed the error here. Okay. Empty string. Now, if I ask what is X, is false. And other than that, anything you put in, okay, you just say put an X here. And then you say what is X? X is true. And then you put any number in it, it will be true as well. Only if it's 0, then you get the false result. Okay, so that's the rule. So if you use a bool, and then you get a true value if there is content in it. All right, so now let's move on to the quiz here. So I want you, every one of you, think about this. And if we finish those, then I think we are good on Boolean. All right, so what is the result for this one? I wanted to test every student because I have enough questions here. So let me just call the student, okay? So first one, let me get April. So what is this value? What is this result?
False.
False. Can you explain it?
Well, the operator not reverses the result. So
Mhm.
instead of true, it would become false.
That's right. Very good. Okay. All right. The second one, let me get a Alexia.
Is it true?
You're right. That's true. Because if you use or, either one is true, then it is true. Okay. So now let's get this one. Idiot, you can type in, tell me if this is true or false. Idiot.
Can you just type the answer, idiot?
Okay. So you are right. That's the correct answer. Because false and true, that means it is false. And then you negate. So you negative it, make it true. Or how about this one? So can I get a pattern?
It's false.
All right, that's false. Very good. So let's go to the next slide. All right, this is a little bit different. Okay, so all right, so who else I have not called? Curtaining.
The answer is true
Can you explain a little bit? You have the right answer.
because 3 is not greater than 4, so that's false. And then not false is true.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Now this one. So let me get a Ryan. Ryan, can you help me?
How do I do the and symbol?
And symbol.
Oh, I found it.
Okay.
It's false.
Why it is false? Can you tell me why? Just explain it.
I don't know.
Okay. It is okay because I need to explain this myself. The reason is that when we see one and one, actually, you just think about this is like using bool function. If it's a number large, it's a number non-zero number, the non-zero number. That means it's true, and the true makes it true. Then you negative it, so it becomes a false. Okay. If you change this to a 0, then it will be true. So let me do that. Okay. Let me do this. X equal to, right? So now let me ask what is X? It is false. Okay. So now let me just go to ask this one, change it, either one to 0. Now you see what happens. Comes true. Okay. The end, you just treated this as a logical end. If it's a 1 and a 1, that means it is true. So if you wanted to test it more, so let's just do 1 and 3. See if we get a false or not. Because as long as the number is not 0, it means it's true. Okay. All right, so I hope that helps. But let's try this one now. So I think I asked every student. So this one, Miss He, can you pick up a student to answer this one?
Sure. So let's get how about Ryan? Ryan, are you there? Can you please try?
Yeah.
Give a try.
Also take your time. No rush.
False.
Why it is false? Can you just explain it a little bit? All right, let me do that. Ryan, do you want to try it?
I don't know.
Okay, so let me do that. So n less than 0, this is false, right? N is larger than it. So if it's the 1 is false, and then if you use and, you do not need to look at the other one. You don't need to look at it. So I will tell you the trick as well. In programming language, if you use and, if you think that this value is more important to you, so you just put it before it. So it will just to look at this one. If this one is false, it will the Python will not bother to evaluate the second one. It will not bother. Okay. All right. So how about this one? Can you pick another student, Miss He?
Yeah, definitely. So let's just get Peyton. Your turn.
True.
Why it is true?
Because 9 is greater than 0, and if and or means if 1 is true, then it is true. So that's why it's
Okay.
true.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so I pretty much I think I exhausted the question I have here on my slides, but I wanted to come back to this one. So this is the trick, okay? So you see why the computer says this way. So you always make sure, okay, the system does it at this. If you use or, it will choose the x value if it is true, okay? Only if x is false, then it will go to evaluate y. Same thing, if you use and, if x is false, it will not go to evaluate y. It will just use this value. Okay. So that's why you see it says if this is false, then it goes to evaluate it. All right. All right. So now let's do a quick exercise. And we wanted to use this one. What is the exercise I want you to do? So let's just try something. Yeah, let me just try to modify this one a little bit. All right. So use random to generate 2 integers. Okay, 2 integers. And I do not want you to do this. I want you to use the built-in function max to get the big number. So which one is bigger? So we learned the built-in function bool today. So let's just come to try to learn another function of let me Python built-in function. So let me just do this, and I want you to learn this one. Okay, very quickly. So there are a lot of built-in functions, right? So we did not really touch them much, but today we learned which one? We learned the bool here. So let me give you this URL, and then you can go to this website. And if you wanted to read a bool, then click on it. But now I want you to just take a quick look at the max. Okay, max will get you the value which is big. Okay, so you do not need to read the whole thing because the whole thing is very involved, and we will come back to learn it again. But today the only thing you need to know is that this will give you the value that is big in the numbers. So now come back, I want you to reset. Use a random function to generate two integers, and then use the max to get the bigger number, and then print it out. Just do that. And print out the bigger number. You don't need to read this, okay? Let me send this to you in the chat window. And if we finish this today, and then I will just tell you another way to do it, and then you understand why we need Boolean value. Okay, let me stop sharing, and then you work on that. If you finish, you can raise your hand, okay? Okay, let me show you how to use the max function, because you might not have used it before. So let's see, I use x equal to max, and I put two numbers, 34, 25, and then I ask what is x. X is 34. So that's how to use it. Anyone finished? Okay, Patton, can you share your screen? Very good. Very good. Yes. All right. Thank you. So let's just do it in another way, but this way we will learn in the future. But I will show you the importance of the Boolean value. Okay. So let's just say x equal to random. Sorry. Okay. X equal to random dot right int. Okay. Let's say 1 to 100, whatever. Okay. So then y equal to random dot random int. Sorry. Random int 1 to 100. So I get the x value and the y value. If I do not use in the max function, then what I need to do, I will use if x larger than y. I will have to do this. And then I will say the which one is big. X is larger than y. Okay, I will say z equal to x. Okay. Sorry. I need to indent it. Okay. So I will say z equal to x. Let me just go this. Okay, if x larger than y, I will say z equal to x. Okay, I will say else. That means if x is not larger than y, then I will say, okay, z equal to y. So now you see this is the condition, right? You have the Boolean value here. You compare x and y's value. So you assign the bigger value to z. So now I wanted to print out a z. Okay, you will see what is this value. Print z. Strange. Okay, let me see. What is x value? What is y's value? Okay, for x larger than y, z equal to x. Else, z will equal to y. So let me print out this value. So this will always get you the bigger value as well. Not sure why it give me this error here. Anyway, okay, so I have to stop here. So you say this will be the way why we need to use the Boolean value, because in the future when we write the code, okay, when we write the code, we will need to compare. Then we get the value. Okay, so that's why Boolean is very important. I think this program has some problem, so that's why I cannot get the z value, cannot get it to work. But you know the importance of the Boolean value. So that's the basic of Python and the most simple data type. And I want you to remember it. And hopefully the quiz question helped you. And that's all what I have for today. So Ms. Key, I will return the class
Thank
back
you
to
very
you.
much. Yeah, thank you. I think it's very good. As students, you have a question.